to episode 1 of Ponder Up Yonder. Welcome back to episode 10 of Ponder Up Yonder. We're happy to have you here with us. As always, we're your hosts. I'm Sam.
I am Nick. We're back for more.
You're probably wondering, isn't this the Find Your Tree podcast? Well, we made a few changes recently. So as we changed the name of the company from Distant Clothing Company to the Up North Collective.
The new era.
The new era, really going to hammer home up north, kind of the North Woods, going back to our roots in Wisconsin as well. So we thought it was also fitting to pivot with the podcast name as well to Ponder Up Yonder, because there's nothing Nick and I like doing more than just pondering and yondering.
Yeah, we just like to kick back and go on deep dives and ponder all the crazy things that happen in this crazy world.
Yeah.
So for those watching the podcast, we have a deck of cards in front of us, and there's a few topics on them.
What are these cards for, Nick?
Well, it's a homage to Euchre, Sheep's Head, the card games of northern Wisconsin, and each card has a topic. Sam wrote some down, I wrote some down, and we shuffled them up.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's gonna flip, and we're gonna ponder some topics.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Yeah, why not? Are you sure that's the right side?
I put them in both, I believe.
Oh, so some might be blank.
Oh no, we're good.
Okay.
Let's rock and roll.
What do we got?
Maps.
Did you have anything in mind specifically when you thought of maps? I love them personally.
I know, because you love Google Earth too.
That as well, but like blanket statement, I love maps.
You're a big cartography guy.
I really am, but it started as a young age,
really?
Which I can get into. But what did you have something in mind?
So, I was just thinking how maps are constantly wrong because we're constantly improving maps.
Yeah.
So like any map you look at is kind of technically incorrect.
Well, especially a world map, because there's no way of putting globe shape and have everything hold its proportions.
Right.
Because when you actually like size things up, the sizes are very different than what you often see on a map.
Oh, exactly.
Or a map of the globe.
And
not a globe itself.
What caught you into maps at a young age? I
mean, growing up in the 90s, I'd co-pilot with my dad on drives, and he'd be like, pull the folded map out of the glove box, the old Randy McNally, laminated map of the state.
Yeah, the atlas,
There, it would give you some distances from big city points.
The scale.
Yeah, and so my dad would be like, where are we, telling me where the destination is, and I would have the map, and I'd be like, okay, I know we're, cruising 151, and we're heading here, so I'm like, we're going to go 151, we're going to catch 26, jog over to 41, and on our way.
And you're up, yeah.
So like I'd always be looking at maps, even when I'm driving, like, I don't necessarily need GPS directions, but I love having the map just on the screen because I love maps. I don't know why, other than
I'm so glad I wrote down maps. I'm learning about you.
I'm like human map quest. Like I feel like I have a really good internal compass.
Right. I'm pretty good at it too, just from driving around a ton and just knowing where the hell I'm at. But I like getting lost too. Since I know where I'm at, I'm going to take like 3 or 4 lefts and then lift 5 rights. I don't know what's over there, so I will. I'll get lost on purpose and then I'll go anti-map.
Yeah, yeah. Because I also not with gas prices lately, but I used to love just going for a drive, which is not very environmentally friendly. But like, I think it's more the exploring, nature, and adventure at the core.
Oh, for sure. That's
probably more than anything else.
100%. It's the beautiful scenery, and I won't use a map in those.
Oh yeah.
Scenarios.
Well, I'm like, I'll find even foreign cities, not necessarily foreign like internationally, but like the first time in a city. And let's say I'm renting a car, or we're going to walk navigate or take the scooters, like the Lime things.
Yes.
I have I'll look at a map, get just a rough sense of the city and how the city's kind of laid out. And like, I'll get you where we need to go for the most part.
Right. See, that's where I
very naturally just kind of know where I am in respect to things, even like cardinal direction wise.
I just got good at that, finding due north. For being a hiker, I couldn't do it for the longest time. I don't think I gave it much thought, to be honest. I was like, I don't know how people are doing this. I get the sun sets in the west, but if you know one direction, you can figure out the others. That's just pretty much it.
It is. It's figure out a way to get a direction.
Figure the compass.
But it's
quite
the
easy.
Point. Yes.
I really was overthinking it. I really feel good that I know due north now.
Yeah. So this side or this side?
It's any side.
Okay.
I'm scared. What did you pick?
Time, a line, or circle?
Yes, time, a line, or a circle.
Oh, is it linear or circular?
Yes.
Time's definitely, I don't believe it's linear. Because I think time has branches, which I guess it's linear, but like I think
It's not a straight line, but
it's not a straight line, but like it's many straight lines that can be intersecting without us knowing it. So like there could be multiple timelines, which like I think why you can't say, oh, if you somehow went to a multi-universe or a multiverse, that you could impact that version of you or and have it impact you if you go back.
Because the timelines.
Because if you travel into the past, your present becomes your past, and your present becomes past becomes your present, and your future becomes your past. Like you can't alter it because you went back there, and like it's already happened to you.
I'm in an absolute pretzel. So it's a circle. No chance it's a circle. See, I kind of think of circle
I don't think it can, because the universe is constantly expanding. Like even.
But then isn't there supposed to be like a giant end in like a zillion years where it all does what it did in the beginning?
Maybe, but like it could have already happened because the way we experience time. Because time I don't think is experienced different. It's relative. Exactly. Like they say, because we're flying through space. 18,000 miles an hour, whatever it is, rotating at however many. So if we stopped, like. Huge deal. Like if it stopped rotating,
we'd all be separated.
But from the same level, it's like, okay, if we're flying through space at that orbit, say you want a spaceship traveling at X speed, even did a loop around like an exoplanet somewhere not too far away, but you may have been gone for
like Interstellar. Time is different.
Time is different because it's relative to your proximity in space.
Exactly.
Even the clock, not the clock theory,
that's
but
the
where
I miss when I try to explain this to people is it's relative to your proximity in space.
You can even see it easily with clocks because of the polar magnetizing, how clocks work.
Right.
If you have a clock hung higher on a wall and put it down different levels, it's fractional.
Really?
But it's measurable over time. That closer you are to the
because it's smaller, same.
It's just thing. Distance and proximity of how time can be experienced.
Right.
Similar to Ant-Man, where like he's going so small that time is
planets in our solar system. And I know a year is like 600 days on whatever planet. It's different because
it's your frame of reference relative to time is where at least from everything I've now been learning in documentaries and
I know we both love diving into that type of stuff.
Oh yeah,
multiple timelines and future self, and if you met your future self, would you believe it? And
stuff
like that. I would have a trouble believing
it's like why not?
Right,
but like and not that time travel can't exist. I don't think time travel and like how it's Hollywoodized.
Right.
Exists in terms of like Back to the Future, where you could go to the future, get the lotto numbers, come back and impact your same life you left. For you to leave and come back in the same spot in your timeline.
How that's possible.
Like I don't think it from that sense, but I think in how you experience time, like even photographs from like the Hubble, those are so long ago, because of how long it takes time or light to travel.
The light's not even there, right?
A lot of times there's no light.
Even when you look at like the night sky, aren't a lot of those stars not there?
Yeah, it's just how long they could have died a million years ago. Yeah, depending how far away they are, it's however long it takes our light.
So far
Isn't
away.
It crazy? I think they say on average, like the sunlight we feel is like 7 minutes old or something.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like something like that, just from its time, whatever. I think roughly.
It's going so fast, covering.
But like
so
that's
much ground.
the like.
How big this empty.
It's like sometimes it's incomprehensible because of how big the universe is as we learn more. Like weird. Yeah,
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah. Was that a bump?
We could ponder.
Did you get euchred?
My brain just got trumped. You went alone on that one.
Sometimes I do.
This episode of Ponder Up Yonder podcast is brought to you in part by Janissa Wine Bar, located at 11 North Main Street, Janesville, Wisconsin. Enjoy a relaxing evening of good conversation, great drinks, and elegant atmosphere in downtown Janesville's only historically preserved Italianate-style building. Stop into Janissa today.
Sometimes I do.
Right into another deep one. One that I know. It says Atlantis. The card says Atlantis, the lost city of Atlantis. It's getting more popular. Like I feel like just with the internet, conspiracy theory are kind of hot button topic right now.
I continue to go back to even just some basic facts. We know how big Earth is as a planet.
Yeah, we know
and like the atmosphere, we've at least know the rough size, like it's made up 70% of water, in the land mass, and then like the rest of the land, but most of it's underwater or land mass.
Mountains are underwater.
Yeah, because underwater, it still has a mass before the core of the Earth. The ocean has a floor, it then hits the mantle and the crust.
Exactly. I always go back to the ocean, Florida. That's where it all fucking starts.
Where it's like, okay, we've agreed to the continental drift. So over millions of years, like present humanity, even if it's say 150,000 years old,
sure,
is a fraction of a second on the total scale of Earth, and how much we know land has moved and changed and shifted.
And different civilizations.
And different civilizations, like
even that too.
We don't know because like what would be left of them?
Right.
Like that's I heard it on a podcast of they were saying it's like how would we know if we were not the first advanced civilization?
Right.
And it's like, well, how would you know? What would you look for? Would you look in like different isotopes if one triggered higher, more carbon, or did we notice plastics in certain sedimentary rock from 100 million years ago?
Right.
Was there plastic? Because if we found plastic, there had to have been some type of more civilization.
I don't know. We keep looking and discovering.
So for like Atlantis, like we only have recent humanity, documented to what 20,000 years, 10,000 years of like documented. So it's what say?
Who's to say?
Okay, so if we've agreed dinosaurs were extinct from some event, well, there's a lot of time between us and dinosaurs still.
Yes.
So why couldn't? And we said there were cavemen around the time of dinosaurs.
But are you insisting that the people who inhabited Atlantis could breathe underwater, or like mer people, or like it's a city that was on land that drifted into the sea?
Potentially that.
But Miami will eventually be in the sea, and it'll be buildings.
For how much the world has shifted, both ocean levels and just the shifting tectonic plates move. So islands that would have been underwater at one point could come up again.
All the time, yeah.
So from things like that, I wouldn't say it'd be too far fetched. It'd be kind of more wild, but reptilian evolution, where we evolved from underwater creatures because that's all the Earth was, at a certain point in time.
We're from fish, if you go far back enough.
Okay, they evolved to be a very smart crocodile that moved their ground, to a speech or some level of communicating.
And maybe,
why
the
not?
city was made. Because how it's depicted is like it's golden and but maybe it was made of reef, and it was like.
And it could have still been, not that long ago. Atlantis could have been like.
I always think of like that and like the Greek gods. How does that type of lore not even look, but how does it get so far through centuries and centuries and even civilizations, and that they still make it? We're talking about Greek gods that it's so old. Fucking religion.
Well, but even from where
I guess things can really withstand time. Christianity is
and I think where religion. Not even having a religious debate, but my personal thought of where religion came from was before science was a thing. Religion was used to explain unexplainable things.
I like that.
It had to be a bigger, higher power controlling.
Because we don't have the answer.
And then, found that religion, when done correctly, provided structure for society so society could thrive.
Right, exactly.
So,
and the 10 Commandments, those are good rules to live by. It was good
how
for
to live your lives. But, meant to be modified over time. Not that, because you created a God, because you couldn't explain things, you then said this is set in stone, literally.
Right.
That it's not changeable into the future.
Yeah, it's kind of like Congress. We need to change. We need to change.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that we pulled up Atlantis.
Trump
that's what we got. We pondered pretty deep.
Hold on. I'm going to set that one back down just because it's... This is a good one, too. It's kind of a play on it. The pyramids.
Oh, let's just go all deep. We're here to ponder.
What do you think the pyramids, how they came to be? There's a lot of studies, but...
their location is a tricky part. If you want to get into that, the location, you just can't deny all of the.
Yeah, it's which route you want to talk on it.
But then you think about building it, and how could you possibly move those rocks before we had the type of machines? And then everyone just says, "Oh, you just the same way the Great Wall of China was built, you just throw slaves at it." But I don't. Those rocks are massive. So with that, and the location, and the strangeness. I don't think aliens. I know so many people go aliens, but I think an advanced race that was wiped out built them and was rocking that way, and they are wiped out completely, kind of. It's just throwing a dart.
That's one I would probably subscribe to the most.
Even though I'm into aliens, I just don't know.
Well, they could. But what is aliens?
Right.
Literally, we're all aliens.
Yeah, right.
The fact that Earth itself exists is because a bunch of space rock collided over billions of years. A lot of stuff happened, and single cell organisms became evolved.
Right. Trust us. The UFOs that
government has it's there's just if there's other intelligent life, it's because the universe space collapsed. We'd be aliens to them. They're like, or not even a thing.
Or the aliens are us.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, I think
back to the pyramids.
Pyramid stuff.
It's hard to go.
Like, I would subscribe to that because, like, why would they be in that specific spot? Like, I was just watching Unexplained with William Shatner, but an episode on the pyramids of where they think at the top was some type of precious metal or stone, something that was able to harness some form of energy from the sun.
Right.
That was like not nuclear, but like they had a way, and that's
it's like technology.
Yeah, which kind of gets into where I think kind of maybe the kind of similar Wakanda theory, where like the ancient Egyptians are still alive, but they are hidden in the Sahara Desert because it's a desert, like Wakanda. It's in Marvel, like secret entrance because they figured out a way to seclude it.
Some guy,
yeah, but like they have technology ahead. Think about when the pyramids, we know how old they are.
Right.
They had the technology to build those pyramids that long ago. Okay. Think of how much better they've got. Okay. Like think of our technology over 20 years. How it's hidden. They've found a way to make themselves invisible.
My goodness.
Where like the Earth might be even bigger than what we know.
Yeah, no.
Like there could be a whole civilization hidden from us.
Because even
that's underground too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they could be a whole civilization.
There is in big cities.
And like they're still figuring out a way to harness stuff.
Man.
I mean, everything seems more plausible with more we learn in science.
I know.
And how small, like
as long as possible, just we get all these cool fucking revelations in science and space. Yeah. It's like someone who passed away 20 years ago missed it. A lot of great updates in the universe.
And it would be pivoting topics,
but
like
on Mars right now, I know.
What's to say that like if matter can't be created or destroyed, so like the whole concept of the soul and things like this piece, it's like, well, if you die, are you actually dying? Okay, well, you as a single cell organism,
your body,
your brain dies, but like you go into the ground. And eventually something decomposes you, whether you're ashes or a body. Right. Like you get absorbed back into the earth from where you came, which I do agree with ashes to ashes, dust to dust, like
that's the thing.
Think about it. Like it's like you go back into the ground and then even think when an orange gets moldy or like you put it outside, any fruit, if you wait long enough, a plant usually grows out of whatever that moldy thing was, or like leave a pumpkin on the edge of your truck thing for months after Halloween. Right. And there's no something growing back, even though it rotted completely. There was new life.
Right.
So what's not to say that like that's where reincarnation I think makes a lot of sense too, because it's not like it's win, lose, or draw.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, say like you get your ashes tossed in the ocean and a fish eats some of your ashes and somehow passes your DNA on and like some consciousness remain.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think like we're not coming back as ourselves or this version of consciousness.
And maybe all of the dead souls of all time are the dark matter in space.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Like, right. And
who's to say?
And it's just like this beautiful energy afterwards. I don't think it's going to be like this. Like, it's just like a warmth and love, and for its eternity, you don't have thoughts or anything. No, that's okay.
And for knowing enough of how the Earth came to be,
so cool too. That like
the fact that we're alive in this time,
that's insane.
When you know how everything came to be, like everything in here, everything we're recording on, all of this, everything making all of this came from the elements we've found on Earth.
I know. I think about that all the time.
Everything came from here. Like we didn't go find stuff to create a laptop or a camera or this chair or the clothes. Like it's crazy
at its core.
Yeah, it is crazy. So I think that's a good place to close it up too.
Absolutely.
So we're happy that you are joining us. Hope you like the new format.
Hey, we're gonna be pondering once a month.
A lot of stuff. A lot of talk.
We're gonna be flipping cards and we're gonna be talking topics. We're happy that you're watching. We're back on YouTube. And also on Spotify, you can
and Apple Podcasts.
As well. Find us wherever you listen or watch. And we'll see you next time for Ponder Up Yonder. My name is Nick.
And I'm Sam.
We'll see you next time.
Adios.
Later.
Oh, time for bloopers.
I gotta find it. So I'll put a 17-minute alarm here.
Yeah, 17 minutes.
I'll do 17 minutes. Chopping it up here.
What a life.
Podcast dog.
It's another one. She's too shy to come out. One of these episodes, she's new, a couple days into the house.
Right.
One of these days we'll get her out. You let me know when you're ready to launch.
All right.
All right. Welcome back, ladies.
My name is Jeremy Curl, and this is my co-host.
My dad is a beast on the blocks. Nobody rebounds better than Curly. Not a single guy in the league.
Shout out Jay Curl, aka Death Sandwich.